Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain, and welcome back to the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 27, and we're in the middle of our conversation about long-term care planning and protecting your assets from the cost of long-term care. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5-year look back, what that is, and why you should care about it. So a couple of weeks ago, back in episode number 25, we talked about what Medicaid is, and we learned that it's a program that is designed to provide benefits to people with limited assets, and that there are asset limitations. You can't have more than $2,000 of assets, or if you do, you don't qualify for Medicaid. So what we find is people will come to us and say, well, I'm concerned about myself. I'm going to be going into the nursing home, or my spouse is going into the nursing home, or someone will come in and say, my parent is in the nursing home. And how do we protect assets? I was told that all we have to do is give the assets away, put them in my name or put them in my kids' names, or whatever the situation is, and that will protect them. And that is not true. So I wanted to clear up some of those misconceptions about how the gifting of assets works, what the implications are, and a really particular issue that you need to know about, and that is the 5-year look-back period. Now, that look-back period is designed to prevent a person from giving their assets away in order to qualify for Medicaid. So the look-back period starts on the day that the person applies for Medicaid, and it goes back 60 months, 5 years from then. And what they look for is someone either giving away assets or selling them for less than their fair market value. You can't say, well, I'm going to sell you my house, but I'm going to sell it to you for $1. That doesn't work. That's selling it for less than fair market value. So they look back those 5 years, the 60 months. They look to find if assets were gifted or sold for less than fair market value during that time. And if they find assets that were gifted, then a penalty period will be established. And the penalty is imposed because those assets that were gifted or sold for less than fair value, they could have been used to pay for the long-term care. So the penalty period is going to be determined by what's called a penalty divisor. The divisor is the average private pay rate in your area. So it's a state-by-state thing. In Ohio, for 2023, the average private pay rate, the divisor for the penalty, is $7,453. So what you do is you take the amount gifted and divide that by the penalty divisor. So if someone gifts $74,530, you divide that number by the divisor period, the $7,453, and you come up with 10 months. So that's a 10-month period. The person is out of assets because they've gifted them all away, but they have a penalty period. Medicaid is not going to pay for a period of 10 months. So it's important to know this, to understand the 5-year look-back period and how that works and what the penalty for the gifting within that 5-year look-back period, what that is, because it really makes, when you do this long-term care planning, it makes it critically important. The sooner you can do this, the better, because we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when someone is going to go into a nursing home unless they're already in a nursing home or they're going to be going in the next couple of months. We can kind of see that. But if you're otherwise healthy, you think there's a possibility that a nursing home could be in the future in the next 5 years, then this might be the time to really start thinking about long-term care planning, because the more you plan in advance, the better results you get, the more assets you can protect. If you can gift your assets away into that irrevocable trust that we talked about last week, and you can do it 5 years before you need to apply for Medicaid, then all of the assets that you gift would be protected. They're outside of the 5-year look back, they're outside of the penalty period, and there is no negative impact for making that gift. So it's critically important that you understand that concept, and I hope that's helpful for you. If you have questions about this kind of planning for yourself or maybe for your elderly parents, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is on our website and in the show notes. And if you find this podcast helpful and you think it would help someone else, I'd really appreciate it if you would tell somebody about it, like or comment on the podcast, and that'll help us get the word out as well. So I want to thank you for being here and listening today, and we'll see you again next week.